Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Evening Jumps. Things are gonna put my there we go. Is right there. There your boy go. Right there. If you're watching at theeveningjones.com, I recommend you log in one way or another. Twitter profile, Facebook profile, whatever. You do that. You can participate in a chat room. You can also send in your questions. You type them out, put them up on the screen, or if you got a webcam and headphones, like I got a webcam and headphones, we can do something that's very similar to a conversation. I'm going to try to hang in here for an hour for you tonight. I apologize for not doing the show last night. I just didn't have it in me. I ain't going to lie. I'm almost kind of surprised I'm doing it tonight. But I'm here. I am here for you. I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgivings. I went to Dallas for Thanksgiving. Decided, hey, why not? Let's roll out and check out the Cowboys and Washington. So, got on the internet, got some tickets, got a plane ticket, got a room. And so the flight back was on Friday, right? The day after Thanksgiving. So, what is there to do in Dallas? I realized I hadn't been to Dallas in quite a long time. And it was like, what is there to do in Dallas if you're just there for the afternoon? And to be honest, I mean, there aren't that many places that have great answers to that question, but Dallas really didn't appear to have too many. But, wound up over there at Dealey Plaza. Plan was to go to the JFK Museum, but that was a hot ticket, right? They sold out for the whole day. Got there early in the afternoon. They sold out for the whole day. That ticket was a little bit hot. Just so you know, in Dallas, they had the JFK Museum, and it is very close to the Holocaust Museum. And, not a lot of fun going on in that corner of Dallas. Not a lot of fun at all. But anyway, a little bit going on at Dealey Plaza. You kind of walk around, there's people pushing like conspiracy theory books and stuff like that. And there's still some landmarks, you can see. And one thing you have to remember, I guess, I don't know how much thought people necessarily give this, that are of a certain age or a certain youth. But Dallas has spent a great deal of time trying to remove what they consider to be a stigma from the fact that John F. Kennedy was killed in their city. I mean, I find that to be completely random. Like, I don't think that if Hinckley would have killed, it would have sullied the name of Washington, D.C., right? But with Dallas, I mean, they really are worried about that. So, like, markers don't really identify what happened at this point. But Dealey Plaza, where Erykah Badu did that video when she walked around naked. Dealey Plaza is a pretty significant thoroughfare, right? Like, there are cars humming through that bad boy. But, that is where Kennedy was killed. So people, go to it. And they have X's in the street, right, that mark where the shots were. So there are two X's on whatever street it is that he's going down, going through Dealey Plaza, about to go under where a bridge is now. And again, I'm telling you, this is a pretty, jamming thoroughfare. Like, cars be going through. Hold on, I got to put my orthodontist back in. Give me a second. Anyway, yeah, so, cars be coming through. I watched at least a dozen people go stand in the road on the X so people could take pictures. I watched people lay in the middle of the road and take pictures. And understand, cars are coming. Right? There's a stoplight up on the other side of the intersection. But and when I say people are laying in the street, I'm telling you that parents were allowing their under the age of 10 children to lay in the street and pretend they too had been shot coming through Dealey Plaza. For who? For what? I'd also like to note that I had Thanksgiving dinner at a restaurant. I went to the restaurant and did not plan to order Thanksgiving fare, but when I tried to order what I wanted, they didn't have it. So I wound up with the Thanksgiving fare. And I have to tell you, it is a very interesting experience to pay money to eat Thanksgiving dinner at your white friend's house. And that's basically what it was like. Like, how was the dinner? It's like, well, have you ever been to Thanksgiving with white people before? And understand this is no shade to white people. There are just different cultural attitudes to things like seasoning and dressing. Like just the mere notion of dressing. We do this differently. I don't really know why we do this differently, but we do this differently. I'm not saying who does or does not do it better. It's just a distinct experience. And so it was like I had Thanksgiving dinner with my white friends. I don't really know if I have anything else to say about that. I just wanted to let you guys know that, like, if you do wind up in a situation talking about doing Thanksgiving at a restaurant, like, if you hadn't considered it, I mean, it's like going to Thanksgiving dinner at your white friend's house. Although the sweet potatoes are pretty good. The sweet potatoes definitely were pretty good. Like, I don't really feel as though, because white people do a lot of things with the sweet potato. Shout out to George Washington Carver. But I don't think that, like, the sweet potatoes were good. The sweet potatoes were good. The turkey wasn't dry. I see people asking about the turkey being dry. The turkey was not dry. However, it appeared that I got no sense that anyone believed that the turkey needed anything on it but like its own natural turkeyness. Again, there are different cultural attitudes about seasoning. My man Tristan says, my family's turkey is always dry. You lucked out. And I'm like, hold on there, buddy. I know you don't want to do it, so I'm going to have to do it for you. Chances are that ain't your family's turkey you talking about. That's your mama's turkey that you talking about. And I feel bad for y'all if your mama make a dry turkey. Like, I really do. Like, if your mama really can't cook, but insist upon doing some Thanksgiving dinner, because the thing is, I guarantee you, your mama, if she cannot cook, has been lied to about how well she cooks, because what other option would you have? Y'all just been eating that dry turkey and can't do a damn thing about it. Can't do nothing. And I hate that for you. I truly do. But don't blame it on the rest of your family. That's your mama's turkey. Yeah, I think we've probably ridden this turkey discussion about as far as it'll go. Let's get down here to some of your fascinating questions. Can we talk about the negative influence Kaepernick had on impressionable minds regarding voting? Hold on one second. I'm going to send out this long-ass question, and then I'll get to reading the rest of it to you. I mean, it's a pretty long question. And we talk about the negative influence Kaepernick has had on impressionable minds regarding voting. Kneeling for the racist national anthem, shedding light on issues affecting minorities minorities, donations of money and time to nonprofits are all great, but he cannot be lauded for abstaining from our most important and hardest won civil right. Too many men and women of color don't engage in this basic, most powerful form of civic expression. Cap is enabling this insidious trend, and it must stop. God, you sound like a fucking moron. I read that whole thing, and I listened to all the self-righteousness of it and everything else, and I was just like, oh my God, why are you doing this? Why? Like, all you had to do was ask a question. That's it. Your question. Can we talk about the negative influence Kaepernick has had on impressionable minds regarding voting? Stop. Hard stop. There was nothing else that you needed to say, because that's the question. People don't come here to hear what you think. People come here to hear what I think. I am remarkably incurious, Nick B, about what you think. Yet you gave me all of that you think, which is some real simple-minded logic that I have heard many, many times from many, many other people. And you ain't about to be in here talking about answer the question. You talking about voting, you ain't got no vote in here. This ain't no democracy. And even if you had one, your vote, it would just be one vote. Put your vote in and shut up. Now, to answer your question, can we talk about it? Feel free. There you go. Feel free. Now, if you would like to talk about everything else that you said, I understand what your point kind of is about voting. However, this most basic and most powerful form of civic expression, that sentence is stupid. This isn't, voting is not an expression. All right. Like, this idea that voting is an expression is ridiculous. Voting, you can make it as a civic act, certainly, but you're not doing it to express yourself, right? You're doing it to try to make something happen. And the reality is one man's individual vote doesn't do anything. Now, it seems that your belief is Kaepernick has negatively influenced these impressionable minds because he said he did not vote, because he says that the things he's trying to do are outside of the system. And all I'm saying is, if Colin Kaepernick stopped one of these impressionable minds from voting, they got bigger problems than Colin Kaepernick telling them not to vote, which he didn't do. He said he himself did not vote. The problem with those impressionable minds would be whoever else is around them. Right. Okay. So let me ask you this. Who are these impressionable minds that you believe would not vote because Colin Kaepernick did not vote? Because you appear to be putting this entirely in the context of black people, right? That black people will hear Colin Kaepernick say, don't vote, or that he did not vote because he never said don't vote, would say that he did not vote. And then you think those black kids then would not vote. Do you think any white people are hearing Colin Kaepernick say he didn't vote and then deciding that they are not going to vote? Because I'm trying to figure out why it is that you think that black people are so silly as to Colin Kaepernick says he didn't vote, and then that means automatically that they don't have to vote, or that they should not vote. Riddle me that. Man didn't feel like voting. That's his right. He was asked who he voted for, asked about it. He said, nah, that wasn't what he was doing. That is his right. It ain't like that's the first time I've ever heard anybody say that. It's not that big a deal. However, once you get to the point of talking about this like strictly as some black people think, nothing infuriates me more than you telling me that I got to pretend like voting is more important for me than it is for white people, just as white people wouldn't let us do it for a long time. Like, yeah, I understand people fought long and hard for this basic right, and I certainly have respect for them. But you know what they voted for? They voted for the right for me to vote if I wanted to and not if I didn't. It was for the option. A man here says he could have voted to abolish the death penalty. What ballot was that on? Seriously, I'm asking that because I didn't see that on my ballot. Was it California? They were letting people vote on whether to abolish the death penalty? Like, I'm being dead serious. I don't really know nothing about that. So it was in California. Okay, let me ask you a question. Did that one vote swing that election? Because now you're talking about something different. See, you at first were talking about the impressionable minds, but now you're not talking about the impressionable minds. You're saying that Kaepernick could have voted on the death penalty. Did his one vote have any effect on that death penalty vote? Any at all? What would have changed if Kaepernick would have showed up? Like, that's the thing, man. People love to pat themselves on the back about the significance of voting, because it's this easy thing that you can go do. And you can talk about what a momentous thing it is to do, a momentous thing that coincidentally you do. People do tend to like to talk about the momentousness of things, especially when they themselves do them. Right? Nah, man, I ain't never been one here guilting people about this voting thing. Vote and don't. You do whatever it is that you want. Appreciate it. He could live his values in the ballot box. What are you going to do? Jump in it? Also, by the way, the people who are concerned with whether or not Kaepernick voted, I hear very few of them being concerned about the actual suppression of people's right to vote. Why do you care so much more about that one person voting than all these other people? Like, if you care about the impressionable minds, make sure the impressionable minds' right to vote is protected. That would be a more efficient use of your time. Bo, can you tell us a story about meeting the girls from that college you mentioned on the right time today? Jeff, stop being stupid. If I could have told you the story, I would have told you the story. I do not appreciate that question. Any particular reason you don't get into TV shows and movies? Yeah. I don't know. I'll send this out. I'm probably going to sound like a jerk when I answer this question. And I realize I'm going to sound like a jerk to a lot of people when I answer this question. And part of why I'm going to seem like a jerk when I answer this question is so many people are like so proud of the fact that they don't watch television, right? Like there's a certain like intellectual high-mindedness that people have about not watching television. I don't really have a principle thing about whether or not to watch television. Like, it's not on some it rots your brain sort of thing. But watching TV just isn't really the most enjoyable use of my time. It just isn't. Because see, part of the thing with me and watching television is that television is a much more demanding beast, or a demanding mistress, shall we say. And I say that because, like, if you're watching TV and you really want to pay attention to it, you really can't be doing a bunch of other stuff. All right? Like, if I'm listening to music and all these other things that I can do, if I'm watching television, I mess around and miss something and don't know what's going on, right? Like, I just feel like there are better uses of my time. Like, I don't blame people who enjoy watching television in that way. That's just not really ever been my bag to do it. Oh, damn, y'all had to send Nick out of here. He's so mad. He's so bad. Like, why are you breaking this to me? You ain't got nobody else you can talk to about it. But anyway, yeah, that's just not how I like to use my time. That's all it is. Appreciate the question. Let's see what else we got here. Do you think that conversation between Trevor Noah and Tomi Lahren, that I say, went anywhere worthwhile? So, guys, I'm going to tell you a secret, and I think this is really going to shock you, but I'm going to tell you this because I think it's something that you might be able to derive some level of value from. Are you ready? Are you ready? I didn't watch that. Like, I've read a couple of brief synopses of it, but I saw something that said that there was a raw, like a 28-minute interview that was posted online. And I was like, do you think I'm about to spend 28 minutes listening to that woman? Is that, do you really? No. I wasn't about to do that. Oh, no. I wasn't about to do that. People seem to be really intrigued by this. And see, here's the problem that I have is that I think part of why people are intrigued by that is they really see a discussion like that being like some sort of like dialogue. And so what effectively happens is you take Trevor Noah and then you take Tomi Lahren and you put them as basically, all right, so it's kind of like if you watch The Jeffersons and realize The Jeffersons is a spinoff of All in the Family, you realize that they basically made George Jefferson into the Black Archie Bunker, right? Like they make them, they correspond in that way. I feel like you wind up, whether intentionally or not, when you have somebody like her on and you're Trevor Noah and you actually like are trying to have some level of conversation with her, it almost puts you, people are going to view it in when they watch it as y'all are on these opposite sides. And like, you're basically the same thing. Like the people who equate Black Lives Matter to the Ku Klux Klan because one black and one white. Like, I think it's a very similar situation that you have when you decide to engage in that. My thing with her is I don't see any potential for there to be a productive conversation with her. Right? So like maybe you can get her on television, you can embarrass or shame her, but somebody like that I don't think is capable of shame. I think David Dennis wrote a lot of these ideas on something he did on his Medium site. But you're not going to shame somebody like that. You're not going to change your mind. And none of the people that really like are following her or coming in for her are going to see that and be like, you know what? I think that African boy taught her a thing or two. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. So that is something that I would not probably do or engage in. Like sometimes you look at those people when you realize that they don't simply have those views, but having those views is their hustle. Right? Where it's not like people are like, gee, I wonder what insightful thing this person is going to have to say about this. No, it's people know exactly what they're getting when they show up from you. Nah. You can't really get into an argument with a person like that because they got to sell the brand at all times. It can never stop. So the idea that they're going to engage in a dialogue with you just for the sake of it being productive, not going to happen because productivity is not what's being sold. Appreciate the question. Let's see what else we got here. Wow. Not a great set of questions. I think you guys can do better. I think you can. How is David Petraeus going to be Secretary of State when he can't even leave North Carolina without his PO's permission? Is that true, by the way? Like, I mean, I was pretty sure he was still on probation, but is he on the I got to ask to leave town probation? Because if so, that would be disappointing. The Petraeus thing. So Petraeus got himself into that one situation because he had an affair with his biographer and was then emailing her classified information. Hey, man, no. Like, it's not even the idea of you recklessly or carelessly sending classified information. It's sending it to your mistress. Like, that's a line that you just absolutely cannot cross. In fact, isn't that part of why he had to lose his job? Because adultery gets you fired, because the idea is you could be so easily blackmailed for this reason. Like, yeah. No. He can't be that dude. No. He can't be that dude. He can't be that. Like they said, like you ain't even got to really make no big deal about it. This isn't about no comparison to Hillary Clinton or anything else, right? Like we can't. No. We can't even do that. Like all they got to do is send somebody to write a book about you, and then it's a wrap. Nah, bro. Can't be that, man. Can't be that. Appreciate the question. Let me see what we got here. Did you catch Insecure on HBO? And if so, what were your thoughts? So I watched all of 2 episodes of Insecure. I will say that Insecure does appear to work, right? Like they've got some dynamics that, you know, it makes for a fairly interesting television show. I think they've got some characters and some relationships that could spin off into a decent, long-running plot, right? Like, I can see it. But here's the thing. It better stay good forever, because there is not one single likable character on the show, at least that I have seen in the 2 weeks that I have watched this show. Everybody I cheer violating in one way or another. Like, I don't think I have seen a single character. And look, this is just in 2 episodes, who has not significantly violated, either talking reckless or showing up at somebody's job or calling from the strip club. Like it. Everybody's like there's a Seinfeld element here to like, is the hook of this show the fact that you don't actually like anyone? Like I'm asking, like is that it? Is that what the situation is? Because I'm just watching the whole damn thing and I'm just like, wow. You know what this show is? This is what I realized about Insecure. You know what it is? It's a show about a bunch of people I would never hang out with. I have not seen one character or person on that show where I'm like, yeah, I could kick it with somebody like that. Like everything they into, this is not a world that I'm of. It is not. There's just there's just no way around it. Nah, I'm not really trying to kick it with none of them. Somebody said not even Lawrence. That dude Lawrence thought he's about to get it for free at the strip club. We're clearly not from the same world. Clearly not. Like, you're going to have to really finesse that. You know, it's not just she just going to show up and that be it. No. You're going to have to somehow make that happen. Nah, man. And I see a lot of people really are, like, attached to the characters that, like, they see themselves in these people. And I'm like, yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. But I'll probably watch some of it and come back on again. Appreciate the question. Let's see if you guys have improved on our selection of questions. What have you found most beneficial about discussing / arguing about music with friends? Mine say it's pointless because everyone's opinions differ. Well, if it's pointless to talk about music because everybody's opinions differ, then what is it? What is there a point to talk about? Like, what is there that people's opinions don't differ on? Now, the thing about talking about music is interesting to me. I was actually talking to Ninth Wonder about this once, and we were like, look, I do believe there's such thing as objectively good or bad music. Now, what you like and don't like is something separate, but I do think that there are some objective discussions about music that's good or bad. I believe that. Now, people get mad when they like something and you say it ain't good, and somehow they take it personal. And that, I think, is kind of pointless in that one. But if you enjoy talking about music, then you're going to enjoy arguing about music. If you don't enjoy talking about music and you just want to say what you think and then be some precious little snowflake and, oh my God, don't talk. No, man, that's just what it is. Sometimes people get amped up about these things. That's part of the fun. But I do think it is a very important distinction that people need to be able to draw between what is the best and what is their favorite. Now, I guess it's not necessarily that important because the world ain't going to stop spinning on the basis of it. But I found it is much easier now for me to talk to people about music without people shutting down by acknowledging when I just like something and realizing that I don't need something to be the best just to like it. And I think that gets lost in these things very often. Appreciate the question. Let's see what we got here. Are we doing a disservice to each other when we share videos of black folks acting dumb and fighting where white people can see it? Yeah, because if it weren't for those videos, white people would never think that we're dumb and fight. Fuck out of here. Can you think of an artist whose career you are amazed by how long they were able to stay relevant with so long with below average talent? So this becomes interesting as you try to, as I try to think of who someone is that would qualify, as far as I was concerned, with having below average talent. So for example, I don't think you ever would have convinced me in 1992 that Mary J. Blige would be like a fixture in all of our lives and like a legendary voice of her era. You never would have convinced me of that because I don't think Mary J. Blige is really that good at singing. Except for the fact that Mary J. Blige is great at singing because she sells this Newporty emotional place that very many people are able to relate to. I never, ever, 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 ever would have thought that she'd have been able to pull this off for as long as she has managed to pull it off. Now, let me think. Who else? You never would have told me in 2000 that Ludacris would have put together the career that he did. And I don't think he has below average talent. You just never would have convinced me that would have been a thing. So Fat Joe, where I think it would be a bit harsh to say that he has below average talent, but Fat Joe has hits basically 25 years apart. How in the world? Somebody said Ja Rule. Nah, Ja Rule can rap. I ain't always liked the music that Ja Rule did, but let's not pretend Ja Rule can't rap. Same thing with Fabulous. Fabulous can rap. I don't always like it, but Fabulous can rap. Is there anybody else that jumps out to me that you can't believe how long their career been? Joe Budden, that's an odd choice because Joe Budden can rap. And his career, he just went and found a lane and he stayed in it, which, not bad at all. Yeah. Whoever here says Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez be getting these Billboard awards, and I'm like, why? And then people point out what the Jennifer Lopez album sales are, and I'm like, who do I blame? Which one of y'all is responsible for this? Appreciate the question. Let me see what we got here. Why do conservative people use the line, I don't see color when talking about race? It seems lazy. Now, the gentleman who put that question up put conservative in quotation marks. So, I mean, I'm assuming that he's intimating conservative means something else. If he means that conservative means white, and that's why he put it in quotation marks, I think it's interesting that you would choose conservative as the word to use as your euphemism or your code for white, because there are plenty of white liberals out here also. And I got news for you. They have no problem hitting you with, I don't see color when they're talking about race. They do. Because here's the thing, and this is just where I think it often gets lost. The default reaction to any notion of blackness is that there's something wrong with it, right? Like the default is that black is bad. I don't think people necessarily come to this conclusion on purpose, but that's what's reinforced over and over again. Like, you don't bring up the blackness unless you're bringing it up to intimate that there is something bad, right? And so people have to say that they don't see color because that's the only way that they can ignore their own racism. It's a tacit acknowledgement that if you see color, you were thereby forced to see it as something wrong. That's why people have to do that. Because if they do see color, they're saying they can't look at black without seeing black as being something wrong. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why people have to do that. And it's one of the more frustrating things, because like somehow I'm able to walk around here seeing people and recognizing differences in skin color. And you know what? Still kind of rocking with them just based upon who they are. That is a struggle for some people. And the people who say that are typically slow to recognize that that's truly how they feel. Like, there's nothing to like give them a full understanding of, yo, so here's where you're getting this wrong. It's just not there. Appreciate the question. Let me see what we got here. Somebody here says, I'm suspicious of anyone that says I don't see color. Oh, no. Some racism right around the corner. All right, like I would tell you, the racism is right around the corner. Now that you God is suing the Wu-Tang Clan, does this mean we'll never get to hear him ruin Wu tracks again? I gotta say, man, you know, if you God is being done wrong, I haven't seen the particulars of this, but apparently you God is suing the Wu, and I feel like if you God like really feels that he's been mistreated and that he has a legal case, then you God absolutely should sue, right? Like, if that's what he's got. At the same time, I feel like it would be dishonest of me if I did not say that I feel like it takes a whole lot of nerve for you God to be out here suing. And someone's already put it in the chat room before I could say it. he is the man who gave us super freak physique like Raphael Sadiq. What? Like, who has the physique like Raphael Sadiq? And why? Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I think that it, I just don't feel like it's the best move for you, God. I wouldn't have recommended that gentleman do that. Was it challenging going from HBCU? Oh, damn! I made it disappear. The question was though, was it challenging for you socially going from an HBCU for undergrad to a predominantly white institution for graduate school? And the answer is sorta. Like, I don't know if socially is the right way to put it, because graduate school, like, you ain't really doing but so much interacting with everybody else, right? You get to grad school, people are grown, people are married, people got their own lives. Like, it's not college, so it's not like a social scene of graduate school for you to jump into. So the thing for me was, there just wasn't no black people anywhere to be found, and I was very, very far from home. And so I couldn't quite catch the rhythm. And then, like, I find the undergrad campuses around there, people my age, more or less, there are black people there, but we are simply from different worlds. Like, they were very, very private school, and I was very, very not. Yeah, like, it just wasn't me. So, like, I'm over there, like, yeah, I don't know nothing about y'all. Y'all don't know nothing about me. Like, that was about it. Like, I think if I had gone to a different place for my first graduate school stop, it would have gone over different. Like, I was in Carolina, I had more fun in that way. But nah, I mean, that ain't, the social scene is not a consideration in grad school, right? Like, not in the way that you would think of for undergrad. No, it ain't that. Appreciate the question. Let me see what we got here. Ooh. New J. Cole album next week. Should we care? I mean, care if you want. Like, I still think the dude has a really good album in him somewhere, right? I've got some problems with the way he kind of does things. Like, that No Role Models track is just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, and I can't believe people gave him country for it. But I've also seen that dude. Like, I interviewed him once. I've seen him live. I think he's really talented, and I think he does a very, very good live show. Which is interesting because the criticism most people have of his music is that it's not very exciting. But the live show I thought was good and energy. Although, I mean, I watched the dude sit in a stool and rap about his girl having an abortion. Yeah, they didn't do that when I was a kid. But new time, new paradigm, all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, J. Cole album come out, give it a chance. Like, I do think that there's developed into this cottage industry of people banging on the dude, like, that is really selling them short. And I think part of it also is a lot of people do think he's talented and want to like him. They just don't like his music, which is a very interesting space to be in. And it wouldn't be the first time that it's happened with somebody, but it does feel like it's a lot of people like that. A lot. But yeah, and it's dropping next week. Check it out. I'll check it out once at least. Appreciate the question. Let's see what we got here. Do you plan on listening to the new Donald Glover album that comes out tomorrow? Have you gotten a chance to hear any of the singles that have already come out? I'm going to share this question with the people on the internet so they can come in and join us. But I almost feel like I shouldn't even take the time to share this because I can answer this very simply. So do you plan on listening to the new Donald Glover album that comes out tomorrow? No. And it's no disrespect. I've seen him do live a couple times. He's pretty good. Just not interested in listening to his music. I don't have a great answer for that. Like if I come across it and it bangs, I ain't gonna take no credit away from him. But not really going out of my way. And see, so Lamb, people like you are the worst. He's like, why the hate? What hate? I didn't say any hate whatsoever. I just don't feel like listening to it. And maybe one day I'll listen to it and it'll be a jam. But I ain't going out of my way to listen to it. That's it. See, that's the thing about it. Ain't no way for a lot of y'all that you can say, for whatever reason, no, I'm just not going to rock with this without y'all making it into somebody hate. You weak-minded busters. All right, I think I got one or two more questions left in me. Excited about Drake's new project. Hey, yo, Lance, kick Kevin up out of here. He can come back next week. Let me know when you get him out. I'll start the show back. Should have known, Kevin. Should have known. Lance, you got him up out of here. All right. Now we can get back to the show. Starting my first true 9-to-5 after almost 7 years of undergrad or grad school. Advice on getting used to the grind. Let me tell you what got me used to the grind. Graduate school. Like, I don't know what kind of graduate program you were in, but I know that the PhD program I was in, oh yeah, getting used to the grind wasn't very difficult because, oh my God, that was a grind. Getting used to the grind actually isn't hard. Like, I mean, we pretty much all had jobs before. We know how it goes. You go in every day, you're working for the hours that you got, and then you wind up leaving. You know what helps you get used to that grind? Getting used to paying the rent. Like, it's amazing how tired you get of the grind, yet somehow that rent be pushing your ass into the car to go to work every day. I know, right? Isn't it wild? Whoever knew it would work that way? Appreciate the question. I don't know why Kevin's little question was still up there. Oh, no, invite Kevin on screen. No chance. No, we don't want to invite Kevin on the screen. Yo, this whole thing is wilding right now. Like, you're trying to put Kevin on the screen. Kevin up out of here. Hold up, bro. There we go. Oh, now this thing want to lock up on you, boy. Oh, there we go. Who am I kidding, man? Ain't no more questions here worth answering. Might as well make this short and sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on the Evening Jones. We try to do this thing once a week here. My man Lance Gilliam handles everything behind the scenes. Thank you. Remember, if you miss anything, if you can't listen live, check out the watch live, whatever. Check out the Evening Jones podcast. Subscribe to the iTunes Store. Subscribe at Stitcher Radio. We are at Google Play. We're also on SoundCloud. Talk to you guys next week. Take it easy.